All right, Shalom. This is Hara 1 by Yasha Allah of the Lions Den Camp. I want to say Kal Halayim, La Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Harakar Kodash, Ma'amaf. Double honor to the elder apostles of GMS and their elders. Shalom to you, Akim, Nagwatim, and children that believe in sincerity and truth around the four corners of the earth. There's going to be a war update, you know, as we move towards World War III and the escalation of these wars around the world. You have America being put in the spotlight. All right, so I want to read this quick article and see where the spirit takes me. World War III fears. I think it's off a website called Mirror over in the UK. All right. It says World War III fears as U.S. general tells of gut feeling about war with China in 2025. All right, of course you're going to have them pushing the war off, saying 2027, 2030, all these different time periods. But the way things are moving, it can happen sooner than that. This is Revelations 11 and 14. The second woe is past, World War II, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. So this thing's going to move quick. The buildup is happening pretty fast. The proxy wars are being moved out of the way, and they're moving towards direct hot war with these major countries like Russia, America, China, and now Iran, because they said, what, let the weak say I am strong. So Iran is looking like one of the major countries now. Then you have Africa getting involved now, according to Ezekiel 38. All right. This is Zephaniah 1 and 14. The great day of the Lord Yahweh is near. It is near, and hasteth greatly, it's moving fast. All right. It is near. Even the voice of the day of Yahweh, the mighty man shall cry there bitterly. And that goes into their generals, their chiefs, their leaders in the society. And they're already crying. Let's get back to it. This is back to the article. World War III fears. See, they're afraid. As U.S. general tells of gut feeling about war with China in 2025. A leaked memo, see, they're crying bitterly, especially when the destruction happens. A leaked memo from U.S. General Mike Minahan tells of his strong feeling that China will take advantage of the coming U.S. elections to launch its long-expected invasion of Taiwan. All right, so they're talking about China invading Taiwan possibly around the elections. All right. A confidential memo from a U.S. four-star general tells of his belief that World War III will break out between the U.S. and China sometime in 2025, which the way it's looking, it could happen sooner than that. The memo was not intended for publication, which was not intended for publication, was written by General Mike Minahan, the head of the U.S. Air Mobility Command. All right, I'm going to read a little bit more. Discussing Chinese leader Xi Jinping plan to reclaim Taiwan, which those Taiwanese are mostly Moabites and Ammonites. Minahan wrote, "I hope I am wrong. My gut tells me we will fight in 2025. Xi's team, reason, and opportunity are all aligned for 2025." So they're saying they could definitely try to go over there and take Taiwan China could around the elections. All right, which could definitely happen way before then. Elections in both Taiwan and the U.S. could provide the opportunity to strike while both new administrations were still finding their feet. And that's when the Lord said He's gonna bring this place down in the midst of the turmoil and the confusion. All right, Zephaniah 1:15. That day is a day of wrath, a day of trouble and distress, a day of wasteness and desolation, a day of darkness and gloominess, a day of clouds and thick darkness. That's the day of destruction, because these nations are going to go to war. These people, these heathens, they like maybe, and they hope it doesn't happen. Well, we hope it does happen because it's according to prophecy and our deliverance. A day of the trumpet and alarm against the fenced cities and against the high towers. So not just Taiwan gonna be taken, but America gonna be besieged and destroyed. And I will bring distress upon men, people like this general that was talking, Menahan, that they shall walk like blind men, because they have sinned against Yahweh, and their blood shall be poured out as dust, and their flesh as the dung, man. All right, so they're going to perish over there in the wars. This is Nahum 3:17. Thy crowned, talking about America, all right, thy crowned are as the locusts, and thy crown represents their generals, like this guy Menahan, all right? and ultimately their crown is the commander-in-chief, and that goes into the shepherds. Thy crowned are as the locusts, so they're generals, and thy captains as the grasshoppers, which camp in the hedges in the cold day. All right, grasshoppers go into locusts, same way they show up and devour a whole field on the earth and then fly away, disappear. That's how America's army is, man. You know, the Lord said that according to the scriptures, He's going to send far off the northern army. They're going to be all around the world, setting up bases in different people's areas. That goes into Habakkuk chapter 2. They neither keepeth at home. All right, getting involved in Taiwan. Trying to give it sovereignty, help it keep its sovereignty from China, just like they're getting involved with Ukraine. All right. America is getting involved in matters that don't have anything initially to do with America. Let me get this. See, the Lord told us not to be a part of this American mindset as the thief, all right, and the murderer. 1 Peter 1:14. But let none of you suffer as a murderer. And that's what a lot of those soldiers are. They take commands and they go over there and murder shit, murder people, all right? Or as a thief. A lot of them get hired to steal the resources, the gold, the what they call that? Poppy seed, you know, and all these different resources from around the world. They said Taiwan is one of the main sea hip makers around the world. All right. Or as an evildoer, or as a busybody in other men's matters. And that's what these American troops are, busybodies in other nations' matters, man. You know that? You know, let me get this. This is Joel 2:20. It says, but I will remove far off from you the northern army. And the northern army represents America, all right, the American army. And will drive him into a land barren and desolate. All right, so that's why America's army is weakened, because most of the army has been stressed out, lack of resources, scattered all around the world. like a war machine. All right. And the Lord has driven their army afar off. Instead of being in America protecting the home front, they call themselves protecting America by going into other countries, doing regime change, and basically putting a gun to their head to these nations, saying, "Hey, if you do this, we do that," putting deterrence in place, forcing allies instead of creating peaceful allies. They force these other nations to be in allegiance with them. Most of them say, "Hey, we'll protect your water source if you give us workers, if you give us soldiers, or we'll give you weapons, and vehicles, and money." That's what they do. A lot of these politicians, they go over there and set up militias as well. It says, and what? So the Lord has driven America's army all around the world. But it really started off after World War II with Operation Desert Storm. I think around 2003, 2004. And the first Bush, George Bush, he was calling about a new world order. And they've been moving towards that really fast ever since. So the Lord has driven their army over into what they call the Middle East, and over to the borders of Russia, and now over to Taiwan, bordering with China. And will drive him into a land barren and desolate, and that was Saudi Arabia, and Kuwait, and Iraq. Those are barren and desolate places, basically deserts. With his face towards the east sea, and his hinder part towards the utmost sea. The utmost sea in this case would be the Red Sea. All right, some say the Mediterranean, but it's really the Red Sea because America came through Saudi Arabia and Kuwait. They didn't come through Turkey, which would be over by the Mediterranean. So their hinder part would be towards the Red Sea, and their utmost part, meaning which direction they're going, would be towards Iran. That's what their target is. So it would be towards the Caspian Sea and the Black Sea, which was originally the utmost sea because it was all one between the Black Sea and the Caspian Sea. Let me get a picture in the background. All right, so you have the Red Sea. You have Saudi Arabia, Qatar. This is all the places where America started off after Operation Desert Storm. And then September 11th, Iraq, so now they're aiming towards what? Iran. That's their goal. And ultimately, Russia. Iran and Russia. So their direction is towards the utmost sea, which was originally the Black Sea and the Caspian Sea. If you do your research, you'll see that these two seas here were originally one, and they broke off into two because it dried up in the middle. All right, so the East Sea would be like the Caspian Sea or the Black Sea, the utmost sea. All right, so the Lord has driven their armies starting off here and expanded them to the borders of Russia, and now they go over here in China messing around with the kings of the East. All right. So the Lord has driven far off the northern army, Joel 2:20. But I will remove far off from you the northern army, America's army, and will drive him into a land barren and desolate, with his face towards the east sea. All right. Which would be towards the Caspian Sea or the Black Sea, and his hinder part towards the utmost sea, which would be the Red Sea. And his stank shall come up, and his ill savor shall come up, because he have done great things, man. They went over there pushing their demonocracy, their Christianity, uh, robbing, stealing, and killing. But now, because of that, their stink shall come up, meaning a lot of the soldiers are going to perish over there, as they're already doing. And when they go to war with China, a lot of the army is going to be destroyed and scattered, as they're doing in Ukraine right now. I think a few soldiers just got killed the other day, allegedly. All right, Habakkuk 2 and 5. Yea, also because he transgressive by wine, all right, through their business deals that they make over there with these countries like Taiwan and around the world, in the so-called Middle East, pushing their demonocracy. He is a proud man. See, Esau is a proud man. Neither keepeth at home. And ultimately, this talking about the mindset of Esau, and then onto America that they established as the hammer of the whole earth. They would go all around the earth, destroying different countries, stealing their resources, and helping to make those elites over in Europe richer than the elites here in America. It says, who enlarges, it says, neither keepeth at home, man. See, they all in everybody else's backyard. Who enlarges his desires as hell and is as death. That's why so much war on the earth. And cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations and heapeth unto him all people. All right, that we call America the melting pot, trying to steal proxies from around the world. Like, yeah, we're going to deal with Taiwan. We're going to back Taiwan indefinitely. We're going to back Ukraine, but they're not saying how much. Biden's not saying how much he's going to be spending to do that, or resources the taxpayer is going to have to give up and pay for this war. So let's get back to this real quick. 2 and 16. Let me go to Nahum. I think I was in 3. And 17. Nahum 3 and 17. Thy crowns, talking about the generals, are as the locusts. They get sent out to other nations to steal the resources and then leave. And thy captains are as the great grasshoppers, which camp in the hedges in the cold day, but when the sun ariseth, they flee away. All right, so they get chased out of there. They take all the resources. Then when them nations bring that heat to them, they flee up out of there. Then they got something called deoccupying the Middle East. That's what Iran and Russia have been trying to do with America, deoccupy them from over there. They have no reason to be there. Besides taking the resources and keeping control. It says, but when the sun ariseth, they flee away, and their place is not known where they were. All right, so they go around the world, causing all hell to break loose, stealing resources, killing people, killing families, as we've seen in the movies and in the news. Ever since Operation Desert Storm. It says, thy shepherds slumber, O king of Assyria. So today, spiritually, king of Assyria would be the president of America. Thy shepherds slumber. So all the leaders are confused. Like, they got gut feelings. They don't know for sure. They're in the dark. Thy nobles shall dwell in the dust, man. See that? They don't know what the hell going on. They're confused. Thy people is scattered upon the mountains. So all the soldiers and then America's allies are scattered all around the nations It says, and no man gathereth them, man. So they're gonna be left over there. All right, and they're gonna be chased out of there and left over there to die. There is no healing of thy bruise, thy wound is grievous. All that hear the bruit of thee shall clap the hands over thee. So when all the nations hear that America's getting roughed up by China and Russia, they're all gonna clap up and applaud. For upon whom have not thy wickedness passed continually, man? So you see that? So America, oh man, we might go to war, we might do this. But look, that's all America's about is war. What are you talking about, man? I got a fearful gut feeling. That's what they want. Damn gut feeling. That's probably gas. Or that pork them Edomites eat. So yeah, man, for upon whom have not thy wickedness passed over, man? So all the nations that America has spoiled, the Lord said those nations are going to spoil this place. And wherever they're scattered at, got their hidden hand involved, bringing that order out of chaos, the Lord said they're going to be cut off there. They're going to be left there to get destroyed. Either that or chased out of there. They're going to be caught because usually they'll show up, change the regime, or put a puppet in power like they did in Venezuela. Or they'll show up, take the resources, and dip out. But now they're going to be caught. They'll show up like they assassinated that guy Soleimani over in Iran, and then they just disappeared. Killed Iranian scientists with some type of machine that popped up, and it disappeared. You know, that's how America works. But now they're going to be caught, you know. Just like with Taiwan, China ain't playing. Or Russia. So I'm going to end it there, man, and say, hey, shalom.